Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Let's have a little chat. Let's have a little occult chat. This is your host, The Occult View. I was sleeping good and getting ready to go back to sleep until my friend woke me up. He needed me to do something. But let's have a little chat, shall we? We'll talk about something. And I might have talked about this before, but sometimes I like to expound and go back and repeat things because there are more dimensions to what I may have found from before. I see they've charged that guy for choking the subway guy, and as it should be, he should be charged because he used excessive force. He should be charged, but I still stand by what I said in those videos, and I don't give a fuck who gets mad about it. But anyway, that's what I said, and I stand on it. But anyway, let's have a chat. Um, Somebody sent me I want to say one of my spiritual co-workers. He sent me a clip of Mark Wahlberg and some of his racist rants and racial slurs that he has hurled at black people and stuff like that in the past when he was younger. I'm assuming a teenager. I don't know if he was an adult, but it doesn't matter. He was still of sound mind and body. And this is what I feel about that. Mark Wahlberg ain't shit. I've never found him to be very, very talented. I don't think that his apology for his racist attacks on black people, Asian people, and other people of color, I don't think that his apology was sincere or genuine because I can look at him, and this is really going to lead into what I really wanted to talk about in different dimensions. I can look at him and tell that's just a gift that I have. That's part of me being a spiritual, spirited person. I can look at him and tell that he's not sincere. He's not a very good actor because if he was a good actor, he could have at least acted as if he was sincere and acted as if he was remorseful for what he did. If he was truly remorseful, he would have taken the punishment, the maximum punishment for what he did. That is what a true remorseful person does. And I don't give a fuck who don't like what I'm saying. Don't give a fuck about your feelings. He is a racist. And I'm not saying this because he's a white boy, because I'll call black people racist too. He's a racist. He's prejudiced. He's discriminatory. And I really don't think that he should have made it that far in Hollywood. And I think the reason. Okay. Oh, sorry, y'all. My friend texted me. Um, um, Here's the thing. I think the reason that he made it in Hollywood, I don't think it had anything to do with him being a white guy or a white man. I think it had more to do with him being part of an agenda. Because when he was in the streets, he wasn't acting like a typical, and this may sound a little layman or a little tacky, but he wasn't acting like a typical white boy in the street. He was acting like a motherfucking white wigger, or what you would call a white nigger. He wasn't acting like a typical white boy. He wasn't being proper. He wasn't being properly assertive. He was acting like a street thug. And maybe that's because of where he's from. If I'm not mistaken, isn't he from some rough part of New York? He might be from New York. Let me ask. Let me ask. Let me see. Where is Mark Wahlberg from? I think he's from New York. I believe. Let me see. It doesn't matter where he's from. It doesn't matter. But I'm just making the point. I do not like him. I do not like him. Never have liked him. And then, oh, he's from Boston. Okay, another rough city. He's from Boston. I forgot. He's from Boston. And we all know that Massachusetts, Boston, whatever, they have, there's a lot of racism in Boston. A lot of it. Boston can be very racist. I've heard that from several people, okay? Just like here in DC, the black people here are very racist and discriminatory against other black people. So, let me be clear. I'm not attacking him because he's white. It's not because of his skin color, it's because of his actions. Because I'm an equal opportunist. If you're a black piece of shit, I'm going to call you out. If you're a white piece of shit, I'm going to call you out. If you're a male piece of shit, I'm going to call you out. If you're a female piece of shit, I'm going to call you out. If you're a Latin piece of shit, I'm going to call you out. Because all people have the capacity to be pieces of motherfucking shit. And that is where I'm moving with this occultism. We understand racism. We understand the demon of racism, the religion of racism, and how it has affected black people. I'm not turning my back on that. But at the end of the day, black people have assisted these people in their bullshit. So when I'm watching this interview of him explaining what he did to the Asian, I think it was a Vietnamese elderly man or whatever, he blinded him in one of his eyes. He used to chase black kids home, calling them racial slurs, throwing rocks at them, throwing sticks at them. Where do you think he got that from? You think that just disappeared because he became an actor? No, he got him a good motherfucking, what do they call it? Call it a public relations person who cleaned him up. He cleaned him up really good and told him, this is what you do, this is what you say, this is what you don't say. Make sure that you appease this group of people so people will not think that you have a discriminatory or a visceral for these types of people. Make sure that you don't do this. Make sure you don't do that. They cleaned him up really good because he can promote certain agendas. That movie that he played in, Fear, I think that was the only movie that I really liked him in. I think it was called Fear with Reese Witherspoon, where he played a very, very vicious, stalkerish type of person. He was obsessed with Reese Witherspoon. Alyssa Milano played in that movie as well. Now that movie, I did like him in that. You know why I liked him in that movie? Because that was his true persona. That is who the true Mark Wahlberg is. That is who the true Mark Wahlberg is. The person in that movie is the true Mark Wahlberg. The movie Fear, that's who he truly is. That is who he truly is. And that is why that movie was so good. It's the same thing. It's the Robert Wagner effect. Same thing with Robert Wagner. What's Mark Wahlberg's zodiac sign? What's his zodiac sign? Let me see. He's a Gemini. Go motherfucking figure. He's a Gemini. He's a fucking Gemini. Geminis can be very motherfucking nasty. They can be very, very nasty. They can be violent. They can be nasty. I'm talking about the men mainly, especially the white men. And white men don't get mad. I do the same thing to the black men when I'm calling them out. So don't get mad. And I don't give a fuck if you do, really. But same thing with Robert Wagner. Robert Wagner played in a movie, and I thought about that. He played in this movie called False Arrest. It came out in the early 90s. It was, I believe it was a TV movie, but it was a good movie, and it was based on a true story. It was with Donna Mills, and I know a lot of these names that I'm mentioning for the younger people that watch me. I know I'm old, so I'm old school and I'm old. So these are older actors that I watched growing up. Donna Mills played on Knots Landing. She's played on a lot of different things. She played in that movie, Play Misty for me. So she's played. I mean, I ain't that old. I mean, but I seen the movie, years after it came out. So. Robert Wagner and Donna Mills played in a movie called False Arrest. And basically, it was about this woman named Joyce Lukazik, who was married to this guy named Ron Lukazik, and he set her up, his own wife. He set her up to take the fall for a triple homicide that he committed against their own friends that they were in business with. They owned a printing company or something like that. This happened in the early 1980s, I believe. This was over 40 years ago. But the movie came out, the actual movie False Arrest came out in 1991 or 1992. I don't remember. It was an early 90s movie, I know that. But what it made me realize was it took me back to his wife, Natalie Wood, Robert Wagner's real life wife, Natalie Wood. And we all know that she died under mysterious circumstances, and Natalie Wood was beautiful. She was and she was a great actress. And we all know that she died. She was a child actress, as a matter of fact. She died under mysterious circumstances over there in the Catalina Islands of California, child. And there's always been a question on what really happened to her because there's so much information, so much misinformation surrounding her death. And when there's confusion, there is a lie. And I got that from one of my other spiritual co-workers. She says that all the time. When there's confusion, there is a lie. And that is true. Because there's so many different theories as to what really happened to Natalie Wood, where her body ended up in the water and she ended up dead. And now I'm beginning to wonder, did Natalie Wood fake her death to get away from Robert Wagner? But the point that I'm making is, I'm making the point that the connection Robert Wagner and Robert Wagner, in my opinion, is just as vile as Mark Wahlberg. And the character that Robert Wagner played in False Arrest, the reason that movie worked and that it was so good was because Ron Lukazik is closer to his personality. They say it was based on a true story, but sometimes they say that for dramatic purposes in movie, and it may not actually have been based on a true story because I think Joyce Lukazik did write a book or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. But the point that I'm making is this. I see the connection. I see how they played themselves in movies. And in that movie, False Arrest, I said that was the real Robert Wagner. That is who he really is. That is who he really is. He's a horrible motherfucking person. That's who he really is. And it's the same thing with Mark Wahlberg. He shows no remorse. He shows no compassion, no matter what comes out of his mouth. It's in his body language. He has a disdain for black people. He has a disdain for other people of color. And it's not just him. It's probably a family generational thing. He didn't just get that. I don't believe he just got that out of the air. That's what he was taught. Remember, Boston is a very racist place. That's what he was taught. He was taught to hate. He was taught to hate people of color. I'm not going to say a minority because I ain't nobody's motherfucking minority. No, you motherfuckers are the minority. And I'm not talking about skin color. I'm talking about people like that. I don't consider them part of the human family. No, they're the minority. No, they're the minority. I don't consider them part of the human family. I'm nobody's minority. So I don't like when people refer to me, oh, we're minorities. No, I'm nobody's minority. That's more spell work. But he does not have a genuine bone in his body. So when I looked at these interviews that um, someone sent me that he was doing in reference to his past, and him saying that, oh, he could not even look directly at the interviewer. His eyes kept shifting. They kept shifting around, and that let I said, this motherfucker don't mean nothing that he's saying. He doesn't regret it. He doesn't regret it. Maybe he regretted getting caught, but he doesn't regret what he did because he does not like black people. He does not. He has a visceral, he doesn't like people of color, period. Okay? He has a visceral disdain and hatred for people of color. And I don't care if you're his fan. I don't care if you're his stan. I don't give a fuck. I stand on that motherfucking shit and I know what I know. And I include his brother in that too. I include his brother in that and his wife, Jenny McCarthy. I include her too because she married into that family and she knows what that family is about. They don't like black people. They don't like people of color. And that's their prerogative. I don't care because I don't like people like them either. So I'm not begging them for no type of, validation or anything like that. But I'm just pointing shit out that I know when people are full of shit. And there are other people like me who know when people are full of shit and they're not sincere. And this has been one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like me. This is why I don't vibe with a lot of people because they want me and they want people like me. They want us to dim our light so their darkness can take over. But see, you can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. Just like a certain person that I was cool with over in that conscious community one time, when things got too real, that is when he no longer wanted anything to do with me, when shit got too real. Because they fake it until they can make it. They fake it until they can make it. But there is no faking it until you can make it in spirituality. You may be able to buy a big house. You may be able to make a lot of money. You may be able to do all of those things. But that has nothing to do with spirit. That has nothing to do with spirituality. That has to do with either scamming people and making people believe something making people believe something about yourself that is absolutely not true. That has nothing to do with this spiritual work. Scamming and faking has nothing to do with spiritual work. See, when things got too real, then that's when, they'll create a problem with you. They'll create an issue with you. And I've seen this mainly in, I ain't got to say that, but when they'll create an issue with you and a reason to fall out with you. Well, you can't fall out with me because we never fell in. We never fell in. I was hurt and disappointed, but I always kept a watchful eye because I know how niggas are. I know niggas are fake and they're phony and they're two-faced. And not just the men, some of the women too. Not just the men, some of the women too. But it just so happens I'm talking about a dude. So when this person, and I use this as an example so other people won't get caught up, so future generations won't get caught up, never get caught up in a person's personality. Always keep a watchful eye. Always keep a watchful eye on someone. No matter how nice they may appear to be. You get what I'm saying? Because you have to watch out for people who have dark natures. And their nature may be dark and they don't even know it. And when you come around and you are a person of light and of a pure heart, they get off on harming and breaking people's heart like that. That's how they get off. That's how they get off. And that's why I do work on motherfuckers like that. I do work on people like that. I don't believe in frenemies. When you identify yourself as an enemy, I'm going to do work on you. And you'll never know it. I'm going to do work on you. If I consider you a threat to me in any way, I will do work on you. I will do spiritual work on you, and you will not even know it. You won't even know what motherfucking hits you because they don't know what legions I use. Because I don't go with the flow. See, I'm outside of time and space. And the shit that I use, the things that I use, cannot be comprehended by your mere mortal. Because I'm not just a mere mortal. Okay? I have a great imagination, trust me. But the point that I'm making is this. The reason that I've never really gotten along with people is because with most people is because I don't go along with the flow. I don't go along with the flow. I always have a way of seeing when a person is an ain't shit motherfucker. Whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, whether they're black, whether they're white, gay, straight, it don't matter. I know when a person is an ain't shit motherfucker. And let me tell you, those of you who are out there who have this gift as well, you know when you run across an ain't shit motherfucker because usually they're trying so hard to befriend you. They're always up in your face. Just like, for example, I'm not a hugger. I am not a hugger. I am not a very affectionate person. You know? And when people grab me and hug me, it takes me it just takes me, I don't like it. It kind of takes me off of my game a little bit because I feel like they're trying to energy suck you. You know what I mean? In a way. I don't like that. I don't like it. I'm not an affectionate person like that. I'm not. Unless it's with somebody that I really, 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 really love. I'm talking about like a partner or something like that. You know what I mean? Somebody that I'm really, and the closest man that has been was Christopher Barry. That was the closest. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew his intentions and I knew he was a pure-hearted person like me. My allergies bother me, child. You got to excuse me. So, I'm not an affectionate person like that. And even when a person tries so hard to win you over, I can still tell you an ain't shit ass motherfucking nigga or an ain't shit ass motherfucking woman. I can tell. And I don't want you around me. I don't want you talking to me. See, when people send me stuff, when people text me things, I can have an understanding and I can be compassionate, but I can still see the undertones in your words. I can still see what your real intentions are. That's just a gift. You can say it came from God. You can say it came from the universe. You can call it discernment, but I know your intentions. I know your intentions. And that is why I don't do frenemies. Either we're enemies or we're not. There's somebody that I had to do work on. And their spirit is begging me. They don't know it. They don't know it because they're not spiritual and they're not conscious. They don't know it, but their spirit is crying out to me to take it off. Their spirit is coming to me in my dreams, begging me for mercy. There is no mercy. There is no mercy. There is no mercy. I work with the dark side of the Christ energy. I don't show mercy and forgiveness for enemies. I don't. There is no mercy for you. There will never be any mercy for you. Like for somebody like Mark Wahlberg, there's no mercy for him. There will never be any mercy for him. Not coming from me. This person's spirit is begging me to please, no, I won't. I won't. And this person is living their life, thinking everything is okay. But then they don't understand when that one little thing that they cannot understand, why is this happening or why is that happening? Yeah, because you fucked over the wrong person who was not bothering you. Now, I'm not the type of person that goes after people because I'm jealous of them, or I don't get jealous of people because I'm jealous of them or because I just simply don't like them. No, it's not that. This person tried to throw out some energies on me using their mouth. Using their mouth. And it ain't nobody on YouTube because I don't need that. No. I don't care enough about these motherfuckers on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Them conscious niggas, I ain't worried about them. Them motherfuckers ain't got no power. They weak. They fake it until they motherfucking make it. You know what I'm saying? They're insignificant. They will be the cause of their own destruction. So some people you don't really have to put that much energy into. They will self-destruct on their own. And I know some motherfucking information. I know some shit that I can't really say. I know some shit that I can't really say. And it's so interesting that this information fell into my lap. And the few people that are privy to this information, because we are the real high council. We are the real ones. It is some shit going on behind the scenes that's going to blow those niggas motherfucking minds. Them niggas gonna be dropping dead of strokes. They're gonna be dropping dead of heart attacks. It's gonna be the gashing of teeth with those motherfucking niggas over there in that motherfucking conscious community. And that's all I'm gonna motherfucking say. I know some shit. And that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And they're going to deserve it. It's going to be the gashing of teeth. Their hearts are going to fail us, as it says in the Bible, because they not living right. It's some shit popping off. And that's all I'm going to say on that. And it's so interesting how that shit fell in my lap. And one of the people's name that's coming up in that shit is the same person who got mad at me and mistreated me because they couldn't withstand my light when things got too real. One of the people that I'm talking about is the same person who did what they did to me, which really they didn't do anything to me. They just helped me to elevate to another level, even though they did it in a cruddy way. Same motherfucking person, same motherfucking nigga. And it's interesting how this information fell in my lap, of all people. This always happens to me. This always happens. I'm minding my business, and then and then along comes a spider talking to me. Along comes a spider. What is it, the itsy bitsy spider? The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Then came out the sun and it dried up all the rain. And the Itsy bitsy spider, walk up the line again. I can't remember all the words, y'all, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But I be minding my business, and then people be hitting me up with all types of motherfucking information. They be hitting me up with all types of fucking information. Telling me all types of shit. That a lot of stuff I don't even reveal. You know? Hitting me up telling me all types of stuff. Same thing that happened with my friend Chris Barry. When he was telling me some of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes with him and his family, my mouth was on the floor. And some of that stuff, I'm not going to even repeat it. I'll never repeat it. I was like, why do I always end up with this information? Because you know why we always end up with information like that? People like me. You know why we end up with information like that? Because we're the high council. They gonna have to stand before us. We gonna be their God and we gonna judge them. The same people that you discarded, the same people that you mistreated, especially a lot of you ghetto ratchet ass motherfucking niggas who should not have the things that you have anyway. A lot of the shit that they have, they stole it. They did not work for it. They stole it. They finagled it or they scammed for it. And I know a lot of y'all don't like that type of teaching. But the point that I'm making is this. I know people's true intentions. I can feel the energy in their words. Because your words carry energy. And if someone sends me a long dissertation in a text or a email, I'm studying your words. And that means I'm studying you. I'm studying what your intentions are. See, I never go to a person with bad intentions because I'm just not that type of person. You know what I'm saying? There are people that wake up every motherfucking morning. There are people that wake up every morning and they want to do harm to people. And it's people like that that they really end up getting fucked up. There are people like that who get fucked up. And those are the types of people that I go after. Because I'm justice. See, revenge is one thing. But to me, revenge, depending on, the circumstances, revenge is temporary. Justice is permanent. Justice is permanent. And I'm going to say this. Justice is coming. Justice is coming. For a lot of you motherfuckers who have been fucking with people, who've been harming people, justice is coming for you. It's coming. It's coming. But know your enemy. Know who they are. I don't, like I said, no frenemies. And it's unfortunate that people identify themselves as an enemy and then they want to go back to being your friend. See, that's a problem. People they identify themselves as an enemy, but then they want to go back to being your friend. And see, I don't believe in doing that. That person whose spirit is crying out to me, they really want to be my friend again. But there is no friendship. You're an enemy. There is no friendship. There is no friendship. You got mad at me because we were having a conversation on the phone and I was giving you my point of view. And you got mad at me. You probably never liked me to begin with. And this is an older person that grew up with my mother. You got mad at me because I was giving you my opinion on the phone about something. You didn't like my opinion, a conversation that you brought up, And then you mad at me and you want to go around throwing energy at me and you think I'm not going to respond to that? Bitch, you motherfucking crazy. Bitch, you crazy. And now your spirit is begging me to stop. I'll never stop. I will never stop. There is no mercy and forgiveness for you. There is none. I'm your karma. All of the lives that you've tried to destroy, all of the other women that you've tried to destroy, I'm your karma. You tried to destroy your own daughter. You wished death on your own daughter. You didn't say, I hope you die. But what you did was you told her that you hoped her business fails. And then in turn, that would mean if her business fails, that would mean that she could not feed her child. And then you wonder why she won't let you see your granddaughter. This is what this woman did. The one who's crying out to me now. This is what she did. She got mad at her own daughter for no reason. Wished that her daughter's business would fail. And let me tell you what happened. Her daughter, she was talking about her daughter to my mother not that long ago. See, she and I don't speak. Me and this bitch don't speak anymore. Me and her used to be close. This so-called elder that I'm talking about. We used to be close, but she got mad at me. But her and my mother, they still talk. I don't care nothing about that. She told my mother that her daughter has gotten really fat now and gained a bunch of weight and she's miserable and she's over there not working. Yeah, because you put out a spell and a curse against your own fucking daughter. And her daughter doesn't have the spiritual protection to protect herself. Me and her daughter, we used to talk all the time, but we lost contact because we grew up with each other. Because her daughter doesn't understand and doesn't know the ramifications of a mother putting that type of spell work out on her fucking child. She threw some energy at you and you think you're going to throw energy at me and there won't be any repercussions for it? This is the same bitch that can't even pay $73.20, the remaining balance for her taxes on her fucking house. This is the same bitch who allowed a sex offender around her mentally disabled daughter. And bitch, you don't think you're going to get some karma? But of course, people don't go after people like her. They rather harass innocent single mothers who ain't bothering nobody. They don't go after people like her. They congratulate bitches like her. Right? I don't. When you crossed me, you crossed the right one. When you crossed me, you crossed the right one. I am Ishu, bitch. And you don't fuck over Ishu. I am Ishu. And I can be whomever I want to be because I'm a trickster deity. I can make you think that I'm something that it's really not. And by the time you get into my motherfucking realm, you'll realize it's full of everything that you don't want to know or see. I'm Ishu, motherfucker. And I have the ability to bring you paradise or a nightmarish motherfucking hell. come in my gateway with bullshit, you're going to get fucked up. I can see people's true intentions. I can see them. And when they try to hide them, that is where the problem comes in. That is where the problem comes in. They try to hide them. They try to hide their true intentions. They try to hide who they really are. And that's the same thing with Mark Wahlberg. He tries to hide who he really is. Like a lot of them people in Hollywood, it's not just him. This is why I do not worship or idolize idols. I don't do that. There are some people that I enjoy their talent, but I don't worship them. They're human like everybody else. They make mistakes and they have flaws like the rest of us. I don't worship them. And that is why idolatry worship is really, that's why in a lot of spiritual texts, idolatry worship is really, really forbidden. Because you're taking a part of you and you're giving it to someone who doesn't deserve it. And that includes the motherfucking niggas over in that conscious community. They don't deserve it either. Are you on a spiritual journey because that's something innately calling you? Or are you doing it because you want to get next to one of those motherfucking no good ass, shitty breath, shit asshole, yellow toenail, troglodyte motherfucking niggas over there in that fucking conscious community who ain't worth shit? Who ain't worth shit. Why do you really want to be on that spiritual path? Is it something that you want to learn? See, I wanted to learn. I was a person of a pure heart. But see, that can only go so far with fake people. And a lot of those niggas over there are fake. Just like a lot of those niggas in Hollywood are fake. The conscious community, a lot of them are connected to the entertainment industry on the low. A lot of them are. A lot of them are connected to a lot of the ritualistic energies that are going on and the sacrificial energies that are going on. A lot of them are connected to it. The harming of people, sex trafficking, and all of that bullshit. A lot of them are involved in that, the men and the women. Yeah, I said it. So when it comes to people like Mark Wahlberg, I don't I don't believe he's sincere. I don't think that he's genuine. And he's worth over $300 million or something like that. He can do whatever he wants to do in his mind. In his mind, because of how this country is set up, he's white. He has a lot of money. He can do whatever he wants to do. He's a white man. He can do whatever he wants to do. He don't have to have no compassion. Then I saw this black guy talking about, I think he needs to apologize to his victims, and I think he needs to go to them and you dream on. He's not going to do that. Because that's, even if he did do that, see, this is the thing. Even if he did do that, it wouldn't come from a sincere place. I wouldn't even want an apology from him. Just like some of them niggas in that conscious community, I wouldn't even want no apology from them. I don't want no apology from them. I don't want shit from them. I don't need nothing from them. The apology that I need is from myself. I don't need no apology from them. because it wouldn't be coming from a sincere place, because they fake it until they make it. They're fake. They don't care anything about you or your feelings. They tell people not to have feelings. They tell people that it's okay to be grimy and disrespectful and harmful. They tell people that. That's what they teach. They teach people to be disrespectful, dishonorable, to dishonor themselves, to dishonor their energies. That's what they teach people. And then they tell people, I don't want nobody kissing my ass, but you want people kissing your ass. You want people worshiping you. And then when a person like me can see your true motherfucking colors, you got to hurry up and get me away from you. Well, you did the right motherfucking thing. You did the right thing. You got me away from you. You did the right thing. You did absolutely the right motherfucking thing. You did. You did the right thing, because we don't exist in the same motherfucking universe. You exist in a universe of death. I exist in a universe of wisdom and life and real knowledge. That is where I exist. You exist in death. And I'm not talking about transition. I'm talking about the abyss, desolateness. That is where they exist. That's where they come from. Because a lot of these niggas are archons. Mark Wahlberg is an archonic energy. Those conscious niggas are archons. That's why they're so well versed in that. They're archons. They're archonic energy. And that's okay. But stop pretending to be human, because you're not. They're not human. They're not human. And that's okay. But stop pretending to be human. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Know your enemy. Read their words and look at the undertone of what they're saying to you. See, that's what I do. I look at the undertone of what people are really saying. The covert things that they're saying that they're not saying. You get what I'm saying? They're saying it, but they're not saying it, literally. They're saying it in a covert way. See, I'm straight up. If I don't like you, my attitude will show you that I don't like you. People that I don't like, I don't even want them speaking to me, but they always want to speak. If I don't like you, I'm not going to speak to you, and if I do speak to you, it's going to be very shady. See, I'm not a fake motherfucking person, and that is why I really could not last in that conscious, magical, spiritual. I couldn't last over there, because those niggas are fake. They're fake, they're phony, and they're not who they pretend to be. They're not who they pretend to be. And the veil is being pulled back. And that is why they're doing everything they can. They're doing everything they can to pull that veil back over them, to pull the curtain back over them. They're doing everything they can because they're being exposed for being the fraudulent Wizard of Oz. See, the Wizard of Oz was a fraud. He was a fraud. It was the witches that really ran Oz. See, the story came out. It was the witches. It was Evanora and Theodora. It doesn't matter if they were wicked or not. I think there was a balance between them. But what ended up happening was the Wizard of Oz, he caused Theodora to be turned into the Wicked Witch of the West because he broke her heart. And then the manipulations of her sister caused that as well. But see, there was a balance there. See, people look, I'm going back to Oz the Great and Powerful and how that can imitate life. You see what I'm saying? He used trickery and illusionary magic to run them out of the Emerald City. But they were the ones with the real power. And that's what's happening with a lot of these conscious niggas, with a lot of these ghetto ratchet ass niggas. They use violence, they use aggression, they use all of these illusionary things to push the real people out. The people with the real motherfucking power, they try to push us out so they can be in that position. Let them have it because it's going to collapse in on them. And I know I said I was going and I was done, but I ain't. I'm not. Now, I get the story of the Wizard of Oz or Return to Oz, whatever. I get it. I get the storyline, Glinda, or whatever the case may be. But even with Glinda, Glinda was the one that they outcast. They set her up and framed her for her own father's murder. Right? But here's a kicker. Here's a kicker that somebody never thought about. What if that was really true? What if that was really true? What if Glinda actually did kill her own father? I'm just saying. What if what they were saying was really true about her? What if that's the undertone? What if that is the covert message in that Glinda was the real evil one? Now I know it looks like the Wicked Witch of the East in that movie was the real wicked one, but what if she was doing that for a reason? What if we don't have the whole story? What if we don't have the whole story or all of the information? What if Glinda was indeed the wicked one? Just food for thought. Doesn't mean that it is, but just food for thought. Anyway, this is the occult view. That's all I really have to say. Know your enemy.